All right, here we go. All
Yay.
right, so welcome. Thanks again for hopping on today. We're just gonna kind of run through some of these questions and let me know what you think. All right.
Sure.
Now, really quick, how did you find us, and what made you want to sign up?
Okay. Well, I had a classmate that I knew way back when, and I knew she was very like into weightlifting and I think at one point powerlifting.
Okay.
But I years later had found her at the same gym I was working out at, and we had a couple of conversations about our fitness progress and everything. But then she posted around Black Friday that Built Bodies was having like a Black Friday special.
Hmm.
So I asked her a little bit more about her program because I didn't at the time have anything like so structured to follow. But I was just doing, like going through the motions.
Yeah.
And I was at that point, I had been kind of cruising around for something a little bit more committed.
Hmm.
So I talked to her about it, and she gave me the details and the ins and out of like how involved it was. And I thought it would be an interesting program to at least learn more about. So I messaged Alan about the Black Friday sale, and then he told me more about it.
Nice. Heck yeah. Did you have any like hesitations around? Because I know whenever you're thinking about doing a program, there is that like long period where you're kind of exploring different options and it's like
Yeah.
you're a little hesitant to kind of throw that money out there. But was there
Oh.
anything like holding you back or you know, kind of keeping you hesitant to make that decision?
Because I had looked into a few different programs before, and I even like the personal trainers at the gym I was going to. A few things were holding me back. Like, yeah, money was part of it for
Mhm.
sure. But it was also, I think, the idea of committing to somebody and myself in
Yeah.
a program and kind of being vulnerable enough to work with other people, I
Yeah.
think was a big thing that was holding me back. I didn't know how long I wanted to do it for. I didn't know what the expectations were.
Mhm.
I had never done like not my like I had never done anything to strictly manage my diet with the workouts. So I knew it would be kind of a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest part of being hesitant to do it. And I was kind of like in the mindset of let me give myself a chance to try and do it myself for a
Mhm.
little bit. And then at some point, like closer to when I joined with y'all, I knew I could only go so far with the knowledge that I had.
Yeah, makes total sense. It's scary, right? Like the unknown.
Oh,
You don't really know what you're about to step into. And when you know, like, you're gonna have to change some things, it's
yeah,
a reality check, right? So, and
yeah,
especially if you've tried in the past and failed, then I think we lose our confidence in ourselves and we're not so sure that, like you said, we want to be vulnerable with somebody and like
yeah,
show up and like maybe not end up showing up enough. So, love to hear.
yeah.
Now, when you, I, I feel like you were in a pretty good spot when you joined, right? Like you had some
Hmm.
routine going, you were hitting the gym, you were definitely building strength. But what do you feel like was your biggest problem before joining this program?
Um, I think it was the nutritional balance of it.
Mm.
I think that was my biggest hurdle. And I had to really be honest with myself
Yeah.
and like look at what I had been eating. And I didn't know where to start and like what what protein goals I needed to hit, and I knew I was really bad about like under eating and then the overeating cycle, especially with
Right.
my work schedule. And I think the like rigidity or at least the quantifiable goals that y'all give me are a great structure for me to
Oh,
like
yeah.
learn from.
Yeah, and that was like a whole nother level. Like, tell me a little bit about your schedule. I mean, that had to be a challenge, right? Just previously in your fitness journey, trying to make that balance work.
Yeah, I learned pretty quickly. Oh, also, I think another part of it was the like rest part
Hmm.
because yeah, my schedule didn't allow for me unless I was being really conscious about it to recover. Especially like I would work 3 12-hour shifts overnight, and fitting workouts in between those shifts were already a struggle. But then actually seeing like how much sleep I got versus like quantified how much sleep I got in a week, on average, um, made me realize I have to like carve out time in my schedule to sleep. Like I have to be conscious and mindful about staying up too late, or when I or not eating too late or going to the gym too late so I can get appropriate sleep.
Yeah, that's like a big one I see with a lot of people because it takes a lot of discipline to actually get that sleep cycle completed,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you are a shift worker because you work for 12 hours. By the time you get home and make dinner, maybe you go to the gym or at least go for a walk or something, and then you want to chill, right? Like you want to relax,
Yeah.
watch a little bit of TV. You don't want to have to go straight to bed, but unfortunately, sometimes that's the sacrifice you have to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cutting that evening short and getting to bed. So. Love to see that you're working through all of this. Now, obviously, we've come a long way. We're still
Mm-hmm.
doing some work here, but what do you feel like your biggest win so far is, or what is the biggest transformation you've had?
Um, if I'm being surface level, I'd say the biggest win is that I think we've come so far as maybe
Yeah.
like 30, we've lost 30
Yeah, I was about to
pounds.
say that. I
I'm
see
so
today
excited.
we're officially 30 pounds down from, let's see, that first weigh in was December 3rd, and today,
Yeah.
May 5th, we are down an even 30 pounds. Absolutely incredible. Heck yeah. How's that
But
feel?
oh my God, it feels so good. I feel so much stronger. I feel so much more confident, which I think is more of a mental thing. I think that's more connected. I mean, I love seeing the changes
Yeah.
physically, but I'm also proud of myself for committing to something over like this long, um and just showing up for myself
Yes.
as well as y'all. And I'm just so proud of myself for that.
Dude, that's the beauty in it right there. It's like that like mental perspective that changes, that mental transformation because like obviously aesthetics are cool, but when we
Hmm.
focus on that for too long, it can really become kind of demoralizing because even if you do achieve those body goals, you
Hmm.
realize that you want more after that. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like a never ending cycle. But when you realize that the real value in all this is just showing up for yourself consistently, that's where you get the confidence. Because let's be real, if you don't love yourself now, you're not going to love yourself with abs either.
E-
Right. But if you can be
yeah.
proud of the fact that you're showing up and doing the work every single day, that's what this journey is all about. So I'd love to hear that.
And I've really had fun kind of challenging myself in different ways. Also,
Hmm.
like within the structure of the program of like, going up in weight and challenging myself to different
Yeah.
weights, challenging myself in smaller ways to like sleep more or
Oh,
recover better. But like this week, I focused on challenging myself in cardio. So
mhm.
I started transitioning from treadmill to Stairmaster, and it's been so
Nice.
fun to see how much farther I can push myself, cardio wise as well.
Yeah, just proving to yourself what you can do, what you're capable of. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Heck yeah. So we kind of touched on it, but tell me a little bit now, like where you are in your journey currently. Like what's next?
Um, mm, so I guess before I started the program, I was like lifting or going to the gym pretty consistently for 2 years and hadn't seen any big changes, physically or like weight wise. But I decided, like after 2 years of consistently going to the gym, I owed it to myself to push myself further and go after the things like I really wanted. So now I think in our journey together, we've been working for 6 months, maybe
Yeah, just
5,
coming up on it. Yeah. Yeah.
6 months. And then I guess we have maybe 6 and plus 3 more months to go. But I don't see where there's like an end goal for me. Like I don't know where the end goal is. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to see where we're gonna be at in a year. Um, but I think, yeah, it's just an ongoing. I don't know where like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where we are because it's just gonna keep going. I
There
don't
you go.
know.
Yeah, that's it. That's you just committed to it now, right? Like there
Yeah.
in reality, like I was talking about earlier, sometimes once you achieve that goal, then you realize that you want something else. You want to keep going. So you
Yeah.
kind of shift lanes, and it is in reality a never-ending goal, right? If
Yeah.
you really dial in for years at a time, you can take a long break. You can buy yourself some time, right? It's like investing in
Mhm.
a bank, but to some extent, you have to keep doing these things forever and ever
Yeah.
and ever, right? You don't always have to
Yeah.
do some insane transformational program, but you have to maintain those basics. So it sounds
Yeah.
like you're here, you understand that now. You've seen that if you dial in for a little bit, kind of pay attention to the details, you can really boost that progress. But you don't have to be here forever, right? And
Yeah.
we can kind of pull back in areas, we can change up the split. We can go back to intuitive eating and you'll be able to maintain and continue to make progress. But it sounds like you
Mhm.
learned a lot just over the last 6 months here and definitely excited to keep going. All
Yeah.
right. So one last question here.
Mhm.
Based on just kind of your experience, what would you say to someone who is hesitant to sign up to a program or with Built Body specifically?
I would definitely encourage them to take that jump. And I know it's like a trust fall for yourself and you guys to kind of help support them, but it's been kind of a relief to give up the control that I have over the program that I'm following, kind of just like following whatever you guys say. And it's a lot easier than kind of second guessing myself of what, if
Mm,
what I'm doing is effective or is working, if the effort I'm putting in is worth it.
yeah,
Uh, but I will say it's a lot of hard work. Definitely, like you guys do a lot of the hard work of telling us what to do, but
right.
it's you're accountable
Exactly.
for
It comes
your
down to
own
you guys.
fitness journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say just really be in the mindset that you're ready to commit to yourself
Heck
and
yeah.
to you guys. So yeah.
Awesome. Well said. I love that. And like you did so good at that. You were somebody that came in right away. I remember I sent you my first check-in and you sent me a screenshot of the notes that you took. And I was like, this girl gets it, right? And you're totally right. Like we can guide you, we could give you the plan, but you do have to show up and do the work. And I've noticed that clients who come into the program understanding that and they're committed to changing their lives, they're ready to show up every single day, they tend to be the most successful. And the ones that kind of just forget what they know and they hand
Hmm.
over the reins to the coach and they just
Hmm.
do the work. Don't they ask questions, right? But don't like refuse to do certain things, right? Or like
Yeah.
fight back. They're like, okay, let me just trust in the process here, as cliche as it is. But the ones that can do that, forget what they know, and just kind of fully invest in themselves, they
Hmm.
they don't stop. They just keep going and going and going, and success is theirs. But great, that is about it. That's really all I wanted to ask you today. So I will go ahead and cut this recording, but stay on the call for me, all right?
Okay.
All right, let's see here.